Hey StarCrafters, it's Wookie. Welcome back to the channel. Here's me, and this is my 2v2 partner Notorq making his debut on the channel. By the way, notice how I did not go to ally chat to type that like every other time I've ever tried to type that in a 2v2. Shift enter. I believe it's shift enter. It might be control enter. Try shift enter if you're in a multiplayer game or like a 2v2 or 3v3 or 4v4. To go directly to the all chat channel. How about that? Something I just learned recently. Our opponents whoa, did I say? Okay, hold on. Hey StarCrafters, welcome to the channel. Wookie here. Thanks for tuning in. Can't believe I almost forgot that. Okay, this is our opponent Jeff and Logan. Jeff and Logan. Very basic names. Very to the point, perhaps even just like you might meet this guy on the street and his name is actually Logan. I think that's kind of unimaginative actually, but look at what Jeff is doing down here. He is he's cannon rushing my partner Notorq, and that's the Notorq and I have played our placement matches. We are actually Bronze League 2v2 as a team, and the cheese is to be expected. Like every game you start bronze that's not 1v1, and like 80% of them that are 1v1, you should expect the cheese. The thing you really need to do is detect the cheese. So it's very important in these low-level 2v2 matches to find the cheese. And I did some scouting. You can see I'm in his base and I don't see a gateway or whatever. So we are going to watch me take a probe out. I believe this is me doing it. Yep, and I'm looking for the cheese, and I'm Notorq and I are Skyping, so I'm telling him no gateway, look for cheese, no gateway, look for cheese, and he does eventually find this. I don't think he's seen it quite yet. 3, who's player 3? Okay, it's him. No, he hasn't quite seen it yet. And player 4 is probably me. But they eventually shoo our probes out. But the common thing in a 2v2, especially low level, is at least one cheese while the other player techs up, you know. So that's certainly what we see happening here. And I've got the production tab open so you guys can keep track. You can see Notorq and our cyber cores are coming in at about the same time. I'm adding on gateways now. We decided we would top of our ramp wall off and then move down to take the area between. That was a plan. It didn't happen by accident. We've got, oh, see, a little probe. When a probe runs through the grass there, this one lost sight, and so I had to stop following. I'm the purple, the color of royalty. Makes sense. Moohoo, haha. And by the way, today, like while this game was playing, this was earlier today, Sunday, I was again alone in the house. It was very awesome. But I knew my family was not far away, and so you can see some forges going down now that the cheese is detected. But I had told Notorq, like, if my family comes home, I'm going to have to leave the game very quickly, and it's going to get very loud. So he was on notice that, like, if I hear the key in the door, and the dog is getting antsy and running over to the door, it means my wife is home with the twins and my daughter, and they're going to be riled up because they've been over at a friend's house, and we're just going to have to attack. And that actually ends up happening in this game. Now you can see trying to do a cannon contain here, an anti-cannon rush is what we're getting into. And does that seem loud to anybody else? That seems really loud to me. That's options, sound, 7%. That's about where it should be, but we'll put it down to 5, and hopefully that's not as bad. Now, Notorq tries to build his cannons into the cannons, and that's not going to work. You're going to see I put a cannon back here, and I just draw that line in the sand. This far, no farther, is how far the cannon rush will be allowed to go. So I'm pretty sure we killed the probe. Yeah, okay, the probe is dead. But so I came over here to try to help him out and just keep this contained. Once a cannon rush is in place, you can't really stop it. You can only kill the probe and try to prevent future probes from getting in, and just make that line. Nothing will advance past this, and then you play in the space that is left. This cannon can reach this nexus, and that comes into play in a little bit. You can see I've got 3 gateways that I'm very slow to convert over to warp gates, and I'm getting my robotics in already. And Notorq, who was a little distressed by his cannon rush, it was decided that he would just save up and expand, so that's good. He's doing that because he knows he's going to lose this eventually. Just crank out probes and, you know, mine from it for as long as you can. Now back in Camp Logan, I believe this is Logan, yeah. He's got his factory down, still hasn't got the siege tech, and he is, looks like he's making all marauders, which I don't know if that's the best thing for Logan to be doing. Now he's got siege tank tech coming, but his buddy, his partner Jeff over here, has what is that, 10 probes, just now getting on gas, just now making his first gateway. So he was completely focused on this. I wish I had known that in game, because when you're getting cannon rushed, you have no idea what your opponents are doing otherwise. But if you look at the army sizes, Notorq has 0, the cannon rusher and the cannon rushee each have 0, and me and the other 2 people in the game are the ones with the army doing fairly well. I actually delayed my army quite a bit to assist in this cannon rush over here, dropping the forge and the 2 cannons and that extra pylon kind of cut into my army production. But now I have an immortal, and I moved my army around looking for pylons, so my army is actually up here and sits there for a while. I've got this tower because I was quite honestly expecting a full-on marine rush to accompany this, which I think would have been very effective, by the way. And we are about to see the final moments of this nexus. So long, nexus. Nexuses are 400. There's 450, 600, 7, 8, 900 minerals invested, minus the forge, 1,050 to take out the nexus, and he's just moved down here for the cost of 400. So something to think about if you're a Protoss player who likes to cannon rush. It's pretty expensive. And where is Jeff right now? He's on 1 gate, cyber core, no tech. He's on 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 probes. He's on 12 probes, 10 minutes into the game, 11 minutes into the game. Notorq is actually way ahead of him, and he's already lost a nexus. It was a pretty inefficient trade of resources. Jeff put himself way behind. Do we have an APM tab average? I'm just curious. It looks like I'm currently 0, but you can see we're all at that looks like 18 to 35 range. So about right for bronzies and silvers. Remember, I'm a Silver League 1v1 player. But I have started immortal production. My intention is to take the immortals up here and wipe those out. You can see the nexus has come down, the expansion, and a little bit of a transfer. Getting into some additional warp gates now. So we've got 5 of those. Here comes the Twilight Council and an additional robo. Looks like I have +1 here. I would like to see me start the level 2, but for whatever reason I'm spending my money. Apparently pylons and assimilators are important. But out of our opponents we see a nexus with an expansion nexus with no, what are these things called? No probes. And hey, look, he's going Stargates. I wonder why he chose Phoenixes though. Usually someone who cannon rushes and goes Stargates you would expect would be on Void Rays. But here I go, 3 immortals and a couple of sentries for the Guardian Shield to minimize the damage, and I just go target the pylons. We're going to try to keep everything alive. We don't want to take too much unnecessary damage. I've got 2 pylons to snipe. And so the Immortal's going first, little Guardian Shield. We might see me actually even micro one of these guys out of the way to keep it from taking hull damage. There you go. And now the cannon rush is thwarted, and we're on in a shift attack commands there. Looks like that has inspired our Terran opponent to make his way to the center of the map. So I want to believe that guys named Jeff and Logan, who are in a game together, are actually in communication, like not through the chat interface of the BattleNet, but via headset or whatever. But they really don't act like it, do they? Like, it doesn't seem like they're doing something in good coordination, pinging this for some reason, not sure. Because, he's got Vikings and tanks and Marauders, and Jeff made into this expansion forever ago and hasn't really built any probes yet. Oh yeah, I was telling him he's had a probe over there. And this guy goes Phoenixes, even though he should have gone Void Rays. I just don't get it. I'm really not sure what's up with Jeff and Logan. But aside from the fact that they cannon rushed, I thought they were relatively decent guys. Now here I am super sneaky. I've got, where'd it go? I've got a Warp Prism that I'm going to do an Immortal and Sentry drop on, except that I float it right past all these Phoenixes. And I tried to hit D to drop, but I lost an Immortal, 2 Sentries, and a Warp Prism to that. But fortunately, I had added on some cannons already, and Jeff's control with the Phoenixes is not all that great. He is getting a good scout though, and he likes to fly into all the cannons, but he's not going to see a whole lot. I mean, okay, Nexus just went back up, whoopee-doo, and I don't know who wins in this fight. It looks like the Phoenixes win, okay, but the Stalkers will surely bring that fight into Notorq's favor, and suddenly Notorq is back on 2 bases and doing pretty well for himself. We see our Terran player getting the vehicle level 2s, but not the greatest control from Jeff on the Phoenixes, and that's why I don't build Phoenixes, because my control is not good enough. We've got Logan attempting to secure the high yield minerals, and this is kind of a nasty little valley here with a double gold in it, easily defensible but also highly exploitable with high ground in the back. And once we figure out that that's where they are, we certainly do punish them for that. But we're working up a decent army here. 108 and 97, so Jeff's only got a 48 out of 52. You can see our Terran player is the highest in supply and the highest max, and we can see that hey, let's I was just taking my time there, no big hurry, playing calm and cool, adding on a couple more gateways, got some idle robotics facilities, and only one of them rallied, because that's what noobs do. But Jeff, not really making probes. Is there a units tab? Jeff has 29 probes. Logan has 43 SCVs. Notorq has 40 probes. I've got 40 probes. 40, I guess, is decent for 2 bases. I wish I had more. Oh, look, we're blowing this up. So we come right up here, and within a matter of moments, this expansion is no more. That's as a Protoss player, I like seeing something like that. That looks really nice. I am pleased with the amount of production we had. Jeff is like, oh noes, but he's got plenty of minerals here because he didn't build a whole lot of probes up here, and now he's switched to Void Rays, which are on a move command right over all these Stalkers. That was unfortunate for all those Void Rays, and I believe, yeah, we just carve off a little piece of our army and go chase him down. And actually, wow, he just ran those away like a bitch, didn't he? Oops, now he figures out that it's only one Phoenix. That's funny. And there's some stalkers running directly into some siege tank fire, which you don't want to do. I've set up a proxy pylon in pretty good, well, proximity to all the action down here. And then when I realized that, oh, he's mining from up there, I think I'll just kill these Phoenixes and then camp this ridge. And this is when it gets kind of ugly for... Oh, come on. Did I seriously... Oh, come on. I get up there eventually, I promise. I promise you, because I remember playing this game just a few hours ago, and... Well, that's depressing, but we can see the Terran player going to level 3, level 2 infantry, level 3 vehicle, so those tanks are going to be brutal, but for the most part just camping. And while Logan here is putting out a respectable size army, Jeff is just not. He's cannon rushed, made 6 Phoenixes, and now he's making Void Rays. I would expect DTs from him, except for maybe right about now is when my dog's perked her head up on the couch and ran over to the front door, and I said to Notorq, I'm like, I think my family's home. We're gonna have to attack. and so we did. You're gonna see, like, as soon as he gets his units out here, you'll know that the issue was given, because I've got 2.5-year-old twin boys and an almost 5-year-old daughter, and they had been out all day at a friend's house who has animals. They've got like bunnies and chickens and a horse or ponies or whatever. Anyway, they'd been out, and so they come running in. And my nicknames for my twins, by the way, are Captain Destructo and the Hurricane Kid, because that is exactly how they behave. So when they come in the room, it's just like my wife. It was so funny. My daughter sits down right next to me and just starts telling me stories about, and there was a duck and there was a bunny and I petted it and I fell down and I scraped my knee and I bumped into a tree and I scraped and she's showing me her her boo-boos, and the twins are running around and my wife is following them going, no, put that down, stop it. It's just hilarious. And Notorq is a young man, and so I can hear him trying not to snicker, because my life is just so much more complicated than his. But bless his heart, he didn't say a thing until I brought it up. I'm like, are you hearing this? Oh my God. And he is like, yeah, I was trying not to say anything. But we are amassed here at my pylon, and okay, so the kids are definitely in the room at this point, and I am just clicking my way in. And my wife, God bless her, is not saying anything to me other than, how long have you been home? She's not crabbing at me about the fact that I'm playing StarCraft instead of helping her unload our minivan, and I'm target firing these tanks, and we mop that up pretty straight up. I was at 3-1 on my ground troops, and Logan was at I don't know, they all died, but he was at 2-ish. Notorq just opted for not upgrades. Instead, he opted for, uncannon rushing and going for, wow, that's a lot of starports, Notorq. Good man. And then we go on an A-click, and this is the point of the afternoon where I'm listening to my daughter tell me the story about the bunnies and the chickens and the whatnots. And I go back down to check this, but find nothing there. And then it should be just a matter of moments before we run over there, start blowing things up, and Jeff and Logan have met their match. They have been outmatched. I like having a lot of immortals in my army mix too, especially in multiplayer, because who cares what they're doing? You can just take your immortals and go snipe their buildings, and it's pretty awesome. So we see our Terran player, bless his heart, still trying his hardest. Jeff still has plenty of minerals in his main. I'm all mined out in my main. I'm gassed out too, but remember, I'm dealing with a bunch of kids running out. Oh, then the Vikings. I remember the Vikings. I was pinging the map to let Notorq know that the Vikings are on the prowl. But things had kind of settled down at the house. And by settled down, that is a very relative term. But settled down means like the gates had been closed, so the twins were confined to the living room. They couldn't, like, they weren't going to be in the kitchen chugging the bleach. You know, I mean, they could really. Logan leaves the game. Notorq leaves the game. I don't know why Notorq left the game. Had Jeff already left the game and I just missed it? Perhaps I just missed it. So there you go. Notorq's a good guy and someone I play 2v2s with, and I thought I would give him a debut on the channel here with a victory. We have played several 2v2s. This is probably like 7 or 8, and we're at about a 50% win ratio, but I thought I would put one of the victories up on the channel for him just in his debut, just so people don't think he's a total scrub watching him lose. But I hope you enjoyed a little 2v2 action there. It sure is a lot of fun. I may be doing a lot more of this, as the ladder grind can sometimes be a bit stale, so perhaps some 2v2s will spice it up. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you'd like to see more 2s, if you want to play some 2s with me too, send me a message in game or whatever, or send me a message through YouTube and I'll send you my player code. You can friend me up. I'm so cool with that. Or if you need a practice partner, I have randomed a little bit. I can do the standard openings for all the races, so I can 6 pull you, I can 7 roach rush you, I can 3 racks pressure you until you get better at those, things like that. And if you want a replay of yours up on my channel, send it to wookiestarcraft@gmail.com. I'll take a look at it, and if it's not a complete ramp camp of a game, I'll cast it for you. By that I mean, if your army sits at the top of your ramp for 15-20 minutes, and then you expand and your army sits at the base of your natural for another 10 minutes, and then both armies meet right here in the center of the map until one of you loses. That's not the most exciting game, but if it's got a little more action than that, go ahead and send it on over to me and I'll take a look at it. I'm going to get out of this one though, since I've been rambling for a while. I will talk to you guys later. Good luck, have fun on your ladder games, guys. Wookie out.